Welcome back to Baddie and a Book. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually gonna go to the bookstore. To do one of these videos for so long, but I have been so damn busy. So today we were actually taking some time. We're gonna go to Barnes and Noble and we're gonna go look at some books, pick up some books maybe, and just have it like a little chill little vlog style video. First thing I'm gonna do before I even go to Barnes and Noble is I'm actually going to make my own coffee at home because unpopular opinion, but I don't like Starbucks coffee, whether it's Starbucks standalone or like the stores that are either in Starbucks or Target. Personally, I like my coffee the way that I make it at home, and it's a lot cheaper. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my coffee real quick and then we'll head out. That shit hits every fucking time. Every fucking time. The reason why I don't like Starbucks coffee is because sometimes they do make it good. There has been times when they've made it really, really good, but I don't know. I don't have time to be playing in the morning about my coffee not being up to par with like my standards. So I would rather just make it at home. It's a lot simpler that way. You know exactly what's being put in your coffee, as Starbucks is very sugary and it's got a lot of extra shit in it, like syrups and all of that. And I don't personally like all of that. I like a little bit of coffee, a little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of brown sugar, and then a little bit of creamer, and that's it. Like we don't need anything extra other than that. So I would prefer to make it at home, and then maybe I'll get like a little breakfast sandwich or something there while we're at the Barnes and Noble with the little cafe that they have there. Use essentials that I bring to the bookstore every time I go. I always bring, of course, like my wallet, purse, all like the basic and shit, right? But I also bring a journal so that I can maybe get some journaling done while I'm there, especially if I'm going to be stopping and eating. And then I'm also going to bring my current read, which is Archer's Voice. I'm about 10 pages in, not 10 pages, I'm about 10 chapters and I'm loving it so far. I haven't been able to put it down. I started it last night, so we're going to continue potentially reading this while I'm there. Take some time. When I go to the bookstore, I like to take my time. Like, I don't like to rush. It is a very like peaceful, like chill vibe type of time when I go to the bookstore. And I'm also thinking about going not only to Barnes and Noble, but maybe hitting up like a Goodwill and then the Dollar Tree as well, because y'all know I be loving the Dollar Tree and picking up books from there and like scoping it out. Another quick tip with like going to the dollar store to get like books, you have to you can't go every weekend and expect to find books because they only stock up so many times. You have to kind of give time in between, especially if you're like me and when you go, you kind of pick up all of the interesting books every time that you go in. So I usually go every like couple of months to the dollar store. Every now and then I'll go in and I'll like, my arm is hurting because like I went to the gym and it's like hurting holding this camera up. Anyways, every now and then, like if I'm at another store and I see a Dollar Tree nearby that I haven't been to before or I haven't been to in a while, I'll just go in and, you know, pop in just to see, just to, you know, whatever, just to, you know, stall time. But if I'm really looking for books at the Dollar Tree, I space it out a little bit because I personally usually end up picking up all of the interesting ones while I'm in the Dollar Tree. So if I go that next weekend, they likely don't have any new stock or new inventory of books. I wanted to quickly show the perfume that I'm wearing for today. I was going for like cozy grandma vibes, if that makes any sense. But I have this fragrance that I don't hardly ever wear. I love the way that it smells, but it does give mature granny or rich auntie vibes. It's called Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. I got that big old bottle of this one. So I have this one, and then I also have Born Lovely, which this one is giving a little bit more spicy, a little bit more on the youthful side, but still like grown-ass woman vibes. I didn't want to do this one because this one is a little bit more of a sexy fragrance rather than Lovely just being a cozy fragrance. So this is what I'm wearing today. I'm not gonna lie, before books, this was my obsession. So yeah, just thought I'd put that out there. Super quick fit check. So I'm wearing just this burgundy zip up, some leggings and some boots, along with this juicy bag. And then in my juicy bag, of course, I have my books and my essentials, everything we need for being at Barnes&Noble. So let's go. Pulled up to the Barnes&Noble. They have a Dollar Tree over here that I totally forgot about. So I think I'm gonna go over there first, check it out, and then go inside, get food, then look at books. So we have arrived at location 1, Barnes&Noble. This is the one that is closest to me. So I was really excited to go to this one. I really loved this Jane Eyre copy. It's so pretty. I was this close to picking it up, but decided not to. I had no idea that Omarion had his own book, and I really love this location because of all the sales that they were having. They had different sales at this one than the other one, but guys, their cafe was closed. I was so sad. At this point, I was still super indecisive about this book. So I was reading it and trying to figure out if I wanted it, but this time I just didn't make the decision to pick it up. And then I saw this book. I've been wanting this book for so long. I didn't end up picking it up this go around, but this is definitely on like the top 5 of my TBR for 2023. Shit. What the hell? Oh, did I get that on? People don't know how to park. I mean, I don't either, but I still fix myself before I go in the goddamn store. So we're gonna go to another location because one, the cafe was closed in this Barnes&Noble, so the vibe was killer, and I still haven't eaten today. So I still want to sit down for a little bit. I want to journal, and I want to be able to like enjoy the vibe a little bit. But I did walk around for a little bit. There is a new Lucy Square book that I had no idea that was even dropping. I thought that the sequel to Things We Never Got Over was the only book that she was going to be dropping. I just want to come in here and say really quick, editing Gabby. Not me talking about a new release in terms of a published book like it's an album that just dropped. Clearly, I don't be sticking to the booktube lingo when it comes to this shit. unless it was like a reprint or like a new cover edition of a book that she released a couple years ago. When I say to check out the Dollar Tree, this is exactly what I mean. So I only picked up 2 books from the Dollar Tree, so I want to show them really, really quick. I don't think I'll be going to any more Dollar Trees for today, but I tell you, they be having random ass inventory of books. And one of these books I actually have, like it's a multiple, like there's multiple books in the series, and I have 3, and I still need to collect all the rest of them before I can start the book or start the series. But the first book that I picked up is called Chasing Truth by Julie Cross. This one just seemed really interesting. It seems like there's some romance involved, some mystery, some suspense. So that one seemed super interesting. And then this book, this one is called Unnappily in Love by Trisha R. Thomas. This is the book that's a part of that series that I was telling you about. But this book is $10. And they only had like 1 or 2, so I'm assuming that they got some maybe like in a bundle deal or something like that, or overstock of some sort. But this book is $10 somewhere else, at minimum $7. And even on Book Outlet, if this book shows up, it's like $5 or $4. So the fact that I was able to find it at the Dollar Tree for only $1.25, this is what I'd be talking about. So check out your local Dollar Trees just to see what they have. You never know what will pop up at a local Dollar Tree. So let's go ahead and go to the next Barnes and Noble. Hopefully their cafe will be open because I'm starving. We are at the next location. This is the bougie part of town. Like, look at this shopping center. The bougie ass part of town. So hopefully their cafe is open. This one is actually a lot more busy than the other one was. So who knows how much vlogging I'll actually get done in there. But I'm excited, needless to say. So let's go. So now that I finally got some food, I am chilling here just journaling. I saw this video on TikTok where it said, I believe it was Steve Harvey, but don't quote me on that because it could be wrong. But the prompt was to write down 300 things that you want out of life, out of God, that you want out of the universe. And that's what I've been pretty much trying to do, is fulfill that 300 list, because it was a lot harder than I thought it was. I really cannot explain it, but something about being at the bookstore and spending the day at the bookstore is so relaxing and so peaceful. Y'all, look at this book. Look at this journal. All these books on the front of this journal. I was so close to picking this one up, but I decided not to. I decided to chill. But yeah, something about being at the bookstore all day is just something that eases every anxiety that I have. I love being in the bookstore. It was really quiet at this location too. The first location that I went to wasn't as quiet, but this one was really, really quiet. So many of these covers here in the YA section are so damn beautiful. That's a prime example. Look at this one. So damn beautiful. One thing I really love about going to the bookstore is how satisfying it is to see books at full price, knowing that I got them from somewhere like Book Outlet or Goodwill or online for half the price. That box set was $38, and I think I spent under $10 for both of those books in there combined. So yeah, it's so satisfying, so entirely satisfying. So that one was a successful trip. Their cafe was open, but this is the bougie side of town, so I'm not surprised. What to be expected. But two things I cannot fucking stand. One is when people stand right behind you. They're breathing down your neck, standing behind you in line. And I can understand it. I can have more patience when there's like a hella line. Like, I'm talking like airport line or like rush hour grocery store line. I get that, right? But if there's barely anybody in the line, ma'am, why is you right behind me? And then secondly, a lot of people gotta realize that a lot of these places are understaffed, whether that is due to financial reasons with the bookstores, like they're not able to afford because of like pandemic and all that shit to be able to fund enough cashiers and shit like that to be able to check us out, or people are just not applying to jobs, and so because of that they're not able to hire any new people. So to complain in the line about the lines being too long and there not being enough people, there's a reason for it. So I hate that so much because the people are working really hard checking you out and shit, and all customers want to do is complain. But anyways, someone's car is going off. So we're gonna go home, we're gonna do a haul, and yeah, might stop by a Goodwill, maybe, because I got done a little bit earlier than expected. So just went to like a local Goodwill, and I didn't find anything in this particular Goodwill. I've also become very picky about the books that I pick up from Goodwill now, just because I have so many books. The only thing that I did find in an Insider clip is a perfect, and I mean pristine, Kristen Hanna book, Firefly Lane. It was in brand new condition and it was only like $3. If I didn't already have the book, I definitely would have snagged it, or if I knew of somebody that like would want to read it, I would have definitely snagged it. But I was like, nah, I don't need it. And yeah, so now we're gonna head home. So we are officially back home, and so now we're gonna go through the haul of the books that I picked up. This one I'm not gonna go as much into the synopsis or in the details of the books, just briefly go over them. I did pick up quite a few. This was a really successful book shopping trip. I went to a few different Goodwills actually, instead of just that one, and then I also went to another Dollar Tree store as well, and then of course the two Barnes and Noble locations. So we did pretty good. We did pretty good. So the first books I want to get out of the way are the books that I picked up from Goodwill. The first book that I picked up is The 1000th Floor by Catherine McGee. I do have the other book. I think it's the second book in the series. I had been waiting to pick up the first book to start that book. Don't plan on starting it anytime soon because it is a sci-fi novel, but I've heard really, really good things about this series. So whenever I'm feeling a little bit spontaneous and wanting to step outside of my comfort zone to do a sci-fi novel, I'll go ahead and have this one readily available. The next book that I picked up is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Now this book, it's a classic, as we all know. It was in pristine condition. Another Goodwill that had this in pristine condition. Love when I can find books in the local Goodwill that are in really, really fucking good condition. This one was in the Amazon paperback section, so it was $4 for this, but it's way cheaper than anywhere else you could find it. And again, it's still in almost mint condition, damn near. And then the last book that I picked up from a Goodwill, which I was so surprised, one, to see this in the Goodwill, and two, to find it for such a, one, good price, and then two, it's in brand new condition. Like, I don't know like pretty much anything about this book other than I've heard of the author. I have one other book by this author. I don't know if this is a series or if I have to read another book first before I read this one, but I do have this one readily available for when I'm ready to kind of look into this particular author. And this is called Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Again, I think this is relatively a newer book, in a newer edition maybe of it, because again, it is in perfect condition. And I was so happy that these Goodwills that I went to decided to put the stickers on the back of the book rather than on the sides. I hate, big pet peeve of mine is when they put the stickers on the spines, because I like to display my books like this. So I like the spines to be absolutely clean. I don't necessarily care about the fronts or the backs, like stickers on the fronts or the backs of the books. I don't really care about personally. The next books that I picked up were from the Dollar Tree, of course, the two that I spoke about in the car. Then I picked up Chain Reaction by Simone Elkels. I was really surprised to see this one in a Dollar Tree, but I do have a paperback version of another book by this author that I picked up at a Goodwill a little while ago. I don't remember exactly where it is on my shelf, but it is somewhere, and I'm excited to have this one as well as that one. I think they are part of a series because the covers are very similar. The next book that I picked up is called Survive by Alex Morrill. Now this one is going to be one that I'm going to end up taking off the dust jacket and then just displaying it like this rather than keeping the dust jacket on. This dust jacket is not the cutest. I'm not a fan. And this wouldn't be the first time that I got a book from the dollar store and decided to take off the dust jacket and just display it that way. Also picked up a while ago this book. This is called Layover by Amy Andelson and Emily Meyer. I have no idea what this one is about. It has a little like location thing engraved in the naked hardback, but this one also had a dust jacket on it that I didn't necessarily love, so I ended up taking it off and I just display it on my shelf like this. Then we have Look How Happy I'm Making You by Polly Rosenwake. Now this one, I love the cover of this one. This one was merely a cover by. Then we have Look by Zan Romanoff. This one is a YA novel. It is blurbed by Mary H.K. Choi, which I thought was very interesting. And then this book actually follows a girl. It seems like there's like a video or something leaked of her on the internet. And then the last book that I picked up, which I'm so fucking excited about. If you're a 90s baby, you'll be excited too. Maybe, maybe not. I had no idea that he had a book or any type of novel or any type of self-development book or nonfiction book. I didn't even know that this book existed. So when I saw this in the Dollar Tree, I picked it up immediately. This book is called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And do y'all recognize this person? Do you recognize him? Tell me y'all didn't watch the show growing up, because I certainly did. And apparently this is a new special edition of his previously published book that was called You Are Special by Fred Rogers. So if you watched Mr. Rogers, y'all know how iconic that show was. I just saw Mr. Rogers on it and I picked it up. It's very, very simple, honestly. Then we went to Barnes and Noble, which again, we had a really good time. The first one that I went to, they had the cafe was closed, so it kind of like killed the vibe. But I went to the second one and they actually ended up having quite a few of books that I ended up picking up last minute. So first and foremost, I ended up picking up two books by Miss Tessa Bailey. I ended up picking up It Happened One Summer. This one is heavily talked about all over BookTube. I hear about it all the time. I'm a little late to the game on this one, and this one will probably end up being a closer to summer read. And then I also ended up picking up Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. This one is not one that is talked about nearly as much, but the series is talked about. There's another one that's called Fix Her Up, I think, and I've heard that they're all standalones, but they're like interconnected standalones, so you can read them separately, but they are all in the same world, or there's like maybe overlaps in characters, maybe potentially. So I picked up this one because this one was the most intriguing to me, and I'm really excited to eventually pick this one up as well. The next book that I picked up, I believe this one is a YA, and this one is called Postcards for Summer by Cynthia Platt. For me, it was a cover buy for me. This is such a beautiful cover. The next two books that I picked up, these were actually recommended by somebody who said that they were really, really good. I never really saw them until I went to the bookstore today. And so when I saw, for one, how cheap they were and also how small they were, I decided to go ahead and pick them up. So this is The Greatest Salesman in the World, the part 1 and part 2. So I'm really excited to eventually pick those ones up as well. Then next is the only series that I purchased today, which I know I bought the whole series. Probably shouldn't have, because I'm still waiting to read the first set of series. I don't know exactly or remember exactly how they're connected. It's been a really long time since I've watched a video in this particular world, or in this particular, by this particular author, but more so this series, because the series is connected to another series that I've previously hauled. But it is the Briar U series. I did pick up all 4 books in the Briar U series. If you know, this one is connected to the Off-Campus series. I stopped watching videos regarding the Off-Campus and Briar U series a long time ago, just so that when I did finally get my hands on them, because they were a definite buy for me, it was just a matter of when. So now that I have them, now I won't be so spoiled or really know any details, because it has been so long since I've actually picked up these books, or it's been so long since I've watched any videos regarding this book. The next book that I picked up is called The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I actually picked up 3 books by her. So I picked up this one, I picked up Clap When You Land, and then I also picked up the most anticipated one that I have here is With the Fire on High. First of all, this cover is absolutely beautiful. And the one thing I really love about her books, I don't know if it's like a theme with her, but the naked hardbacks of these books are so damn pretty. I love that they put the extra time into making the naked hardback pretty as well, and putting a graphic design on the fronts of those, because the Dutch jackets are beautiful too, but we love a stunning naked hardback cover. And then this one is just a standard cover. The one thing that I really love about her books is both of these two are written in like a poetry form, or like script form, I think is the formal way to describe it. So that's the way that both of these two are written. I was kind of expecting it from this one just because it's called Poet X, so I was expecting it to be written in some kind of poetry. This one, I had no idea that it was written that way. I just happened to pick it up because I wanted to pick up multiples from the same author. So I'm excited to see if this type of writing style will be for me. Luckily, I have this one as well, which this one is written in a normal novel style, so it's got like full chapters and everything like that. So I have 2 different styles of writing from the same author, which I thought was very unique as well, that she has books written in both formats. So I'm really excited to pick these ones up eventually, to see if her writing is going to be for me. I have watched a few of her spoken words and videos on YouTube, so I really love her spoken word. So if I love her spoken word, I have a really strong feeling that I'm going to love these as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about those. The next book that I picked up, and the one that I'm actually the most surprised about, or the most excited about, which is probably going to be one that I end up picking up here soon. It seems like it's a wintry vibe type of book, which I'm really fucking excited to pick up. I had no idea that this book even existed by this author, and I did look into it. This book was originally published in 2021, and then I think it was published as just Kindle only. Correct me in the comments down if I'm wrong. And then in 2023 here recently, they published it as an actual book because Bloom, the publisher, ended up picking it up. And so that's why I had never seen it before and never seen it be talked about, but it had really good reviews everywhere. So I'm really excited to pick this one up. This one is called Forever Never by Lucy Score. I do have the other book by her, which is called The Things We Never Got Over. I was anticipating on picking up the second book to that, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up and probably read this one here soon, probably sooner than I read the other book, just because this is actually from the guy's perspective. I did read like the first couple of pages in the store just to like figure out if I actually did want to pick this one up or not. I was so indecisive about it. I went to the first Barnes & Noble and I was like, no, I can wait. And then I went to the second one and I was like, you know what, let me just like read the first couple of pages, which is what I love about going to Barnes & Noble. They have their cafe area, so like I could sit down, eat my food, read this book for a little bit, and then after reading the first couple of pages, I was like, yes, I'm taking this. It's from his perspective, so we only get his point of view, but I loved what I was reading so far in the first couple of pages, and I wanted to keep reading it. So after I'm done reading Archer's Voice, I'm going to pick this one up. The next and the last nonfiction book that I picked up is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is all over BookTube. It's not even just BookTube. It's all over YouTube in general, with self-development recommendations, with self-development videos, glow-up videos, anything that recommends reading in general as to better self-improve yourself. As ways to better improve yourself, this book is mentioned, so I thought I would go ahead and pick it up. I've heard nothing but great things inside and outside of the book community, so I was really excited about that. And then the last two books that I picked up were really more so, one is a spontaneous buy that I had never heard of before, and then the other one is something that I heard Haley Pham talk about. So I picked up The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, and then Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I've heard nothing but great things about Mr. Riley Sager, so I'm really excited to pick up this book and like see if this author is for me. There was another book in the store called Final Girls. Between the two, this one seems the most interesting, so I thought I would just go ahead and pick this one up. But yeah, those are literally all the books that I picked up. Like, we had a successful shopping journey today, so I'm happy. So that is all for today's video. I just got done like editing it, and I was going to add more to it, but it's already like 30 minutes long. So, and even though I said in the beginning that I wasn't going to be going in depth in the synopsis of the books, I kind of did. Like, I blabbed on about a lot of the books. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, like and comment down below. Subscribe as well. Trying to get to 1K, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.